chatting to Brendan van Rhyn, who is Frank and Furter in Rocky Horror Picture Show. Welcome to Showbiz in Full HD.
Thank you, Helen. Nice to see you again.
It's good to have you here, and I'm so happy that the show has come to Johannesburg. Tell us, you've done it in Cape Town. You've just come from the Fugard Theatre.
Correct. We've just had a fantastic 6-month season at the Fugard Theatre, sold out. And definitely going back by popular demand. We'll be back in July, August, September, October, November.
So you're just Frank and Furter until the day you die.
Until the day I die. And we're here at Montecasino, Pieter Toerien's Montecasino Theatre, till the 30th of March.
Fantastic. Now, let's talk a little bit about you, because people will recognize you, may recognize you as Kathy specific.
Correct.
That was kind of the beginning of your dragging, so to speak.
That was the beginning of the high heels, yes. The lipstick and lashes. A character I developed purely because I had this voice in my head telling me I wanted to be this woman. And my 6 years of flying for South African Airways.
Chicken or fish?
Chicken or beef.
Chicken or beef?
Yeah. Or me. What did they say? Coffee, tea or me? Take it or leave it. So yes, Frank's second time round for me. I played him in 2008 at the Victory Theatre in Orange Grove.
You did, yes,
you
did.
I did. And since my last bow, I remember I took my last bow and I thought, please,
I want to do
please,
him
I want to play him again.
Incredible.
And it's come around, you know. I went through the process like everybody else, auditioned.
Did you?
I did.
You're the obvious choice. I'm going to have a word with somebody.
No, I did. And, you know, then you get that wonderful mail that says the Fugard's delighted
to welcome you,
to offer you the role of Frank and Furter.
Divine.
Probably the most sought-after male role in musical theatre.
It is, and not necessarily just for actors who have dragged or who know how to drag, all that kind of thing, but it's just a juicy,
it's just a juicy, meaty role.
Yeah.
I should imagine a lot who have played Frank have never dragged before.
Yeah.
So, you know, it would take them a while to get used to the heels. For me, that was...
a walk in the park.
Everyone says, how do you do the heels? How do you do that? I say, well, that's the easiest of the whole thing.
Yeah. So is there any have you sort of channeled some of Kathy into Frank, or is it just
I think
Frank?
A bit of Kathy's gone into him. I think a bit of Brendan's gone into him. Most certainly Brendan's charm. Thanks, Mum.
Hi, Mom.
Kathy, you know, Kathy does a lot of, you know, her satirical riposte, you know, when people... So he does a lot of that in the show. He really has that audience right there. I've been given free rein to heckle.
I wanted to ask you about that, because
to heckle
obviously...
as much as I get. I only give as good as I get, so, and boy do I give.
Well, that's the thing, because it's that kind of show. It is an interactive show.
Absolutely.
And I know that the audience members can buy these boxes that have got things in them.
Well, you know Frank's famous I See You Shiver with anticipation.
Passion!
We now have participation packs.
Okay.
So it's got the newspaper in, it's got the noisemaker, it's got the doesn't have rice, it's got glow sticks, it's got confetti.
Oh, confetti,
it's got streamers. I think the rice, they're just a bit concerned, should a heel catch a grain of rice?
Yes, oh my gosh, yes.
You'll have that.
Yes. Especially a man wearing a heel who's not used to his heel.
Quite correct. Quite correct.
So what have the audiences in South Africa this time around been like? Because Rocky Horror is timeless anyway, and it kind of seems like it just keeps going, and the younger people are kind of growing into it and coming to the show.
It does, and you know, we've seen it a lot over the last 40 years. Last year was the 40th anniversary. Wow. Came out in 1973. So last year was...
you.
Indeed. 40 years ago I was on my folks' to-do list. So they've seen various forms of the Rocky Horror, whether it's the Barnyard, whether it's me at the Victory.
Yes.
It hadn't been done in Cape Town for about 27 years professionally. So people were hungry.
Yes,
people were really hungry.
Because its home was the Victory Theatre back in the day.
Quite correct.
That was its home.
Quite correct.
Yeah.
So obviously it's built up a huge hype.
Yes.
Joburgers have been dying, and there wasn't talk of it coming to Joburg. So now they're just absolutely delighted. Like I said, the 40th anniversary, so it's got special significance this time around. It's been done elsewhere in the world, as we know. You know, London's just had a touring production. It's been done in Mexico. It's been done in Japan.
Amazing.
And of course here, a homegrown South African cast, and they are hot. They are hot.
Hot. Now, also, I wanted to ask you that it's quite a not for me, but for most, a risque kind of.
Well, it's about sexual.
Yeah,
it's about sexual.
Yeah. transsexual, sexual,
exploration,
this,
absolutely, discovery.
Is there anybody, and I can't imagine that there would be, who comes to the show thinking, oh, there's a lovely show on, let's go and have a little gander?
I think there are, jokes aside. I think there are people who just think, oh, we've heard about this fabulous show.
Let's go and see it.
The really tall boy. And then they sit there and they think, oh,
wow.
Goodness. I think it's brought a different audience to the show this time around. It's introduced a new audience. A lot of people who've never seen the show before are coming.
Yeah.
And I know in Cape Town, I think there was a bit of a competition between 17-year-old girls to see who can see it the most.
Oh, incredible! Because people do, they come back and tell me about the night shows as well.
Behind me over here is where I take photos after the show. And I've had people say we've seen, in Cape Town especially, we've seen it 8, 9, 15 times.
And those late shows, it's almost like the cult show,
we had one late night show. We had one 12 o'clock show.
Yes.
I suppose 8 o'clock's late enough.
It is, and that all the people come out in their regalia. So it's running here till the 30th of March.
Running till the 30th of March.
Don't be shy. Tell everyone. I mean, it really, and I think it is much more fun to come and dress up if you know it and you know.
30th of March, Fridays and Saturdays are dedicated dress-up nights. So that means you'll be judged. You're eligible for a prize, but any night of the week is dress-up. You sort of feel out if you haven't got some sort of a feather boa.
Yes.
Or a sparkle, or a fishnet, or a heel,
a lash,
or a lash, or a bit of makeup.
Yes, yeah.
It just adds, and you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot not buy a participation pack.
Yes, no, you've got to be part of it.
Because you sort of feel like a poo-poo, because you can't contribute. Yes. You just sit there, and I'll most certainly pick on you if you don't have a box.
So whatever you do, make sure you get a
I'll pick on you.
Pack.
Guys, this time around, it's just. I think the world should see the show. I think it's undoubtedly the best version the world has ever seen.
Really? Wow.
Matthew Wilde, as the director, has stayed very true to the original, but he's added a 21st century element. So there's wonderful graphics, projections, visuals. So
even the choreography. I know Louisa Talbot has brought a
correct.
different kind of edge. I mean, I think that it was very much a blueprint, the choreography, that got copied and done over and over, and she's gone completely,
steered away from it completely.
Yeah, completely
and
different.
It's worked.
Yeah.
And it's worked exceptionally well, and you'll see the costuming is great.
Yeah.
The sets, the lighting, we still have the live band.
And the songs, everything that you would come
everything
to expect.
Everything that you'd expect to hear and see and more. Most certainly.
Well, I'm looking forward to opening night on Sunday.
Correct.
Opening afternoon, I shall be here in my fishnets.
I look forward to seeing you.
And I'm going to shiver in anticipation. Thank you, Brendan from Rhyn. Thank you for joining us on Showbiz in full HD.
Thank you very much, Helen. Thank you.